Well, hello there, chums. It's I, Captain Stephen. Today, chums, I'm doing a review of Jett the Far Shore, which you can see on the screen right now. And yeah, I'm going to play you the trailer so you can understand what Jett the Far Shore is. So here we go with the trailer. Enjoy.
This is Jett the Far Shore, created by Super Brothers and Pine Scented, with a score by Scientific. In Jett, you play as May, one of a unit of aviator scientists who embark on an interstellar trip and alight on a mythic ocean planet, where they dream of securing a future for their species. We aspired to create a video game to express our own feelings of awe when we look up at the starry sky. Jett is all about motion, whether it's weaving through trees or jumping over obstacles. I love that sense of speeding through a remarkable natural space under a grand sky and suddenly being in someone's helmet, boots on the ground. Jett's premise involves exploration and discovery. However, our design doesn't rely on combat or resource extraction, and the characters go to some lengths to tread lightly, giving indigenous wildlife a wide berth, striving to adapt and avoid conflict. As a Jett scout, you'll inspect living things and employ your Jett's tools to figure out what makes them tick. Occasionally, you'll run into trouble, and you'll have to use everything at your disposal to emerge unscathed. Over the years, we've contemplated what might be on the minds of interstellar explorers, what might propel them, and what might haunt them. And so our story provides an occasional glimpse into May's dreams, memories, and visions. At heart, Jett is a laid-back and enjoyable exploratory action adventure set within an intriguing new science fiction cosmos. Jett has had a long road. For a few years, there were only 3 of us. Since then, this vision has been sharpened and bolstered by an all-star squad. We hope you'll embark with us.
Okay, so I pre-ordered Jett the Far Shore because it intrigued me, it spiked my interest. It looked very sort of No Man's Sky-esque. This is not a No Man's Sky type game. You go to one planet and you're exploring on one planet, but the planet has multiple biomes and it has lots of breathtaking scenes and has quite a lot of lengthy dialogue. I'll leave you with some of the dialogue for a second. I'll reconvene with a review, but take a listen to some of the dialogue.
Aish or heridency, Shomentiet, Shustovus. Ha, poza siempre. Si Bosvik, Benkaldo, Pohalanesha.
Yes, they actually invented their own language for this game, which is fine and dandy when you've got cutscenes like that, but while you're actually playing the game, it will come up with dialogue across the screen like you're seeing now, but you could be doing fast-paced, action-y type stuff, and you're looking all over the screen at what you need to do, where you need to go, and how to get over obstacles and things without crashing, and you can't really read the text. But the whole time you've got them speaking this gibberish, this Simish language that you can't understand either. So it just makes the whole affair a little bit confused at times. After you've got used to the actual controls, yes, you can glance down and read the text, but you're not going to be that savvy with the actual control methods till way into the actual game. And even then you've got to try to look for vapor trails to pick up as you're going to fill up your vapor tanks. It just doesn't really work. It doesn't flow well when it comes to actually controlling, when you've got to read what's going on the screen, which is essential to mission grabbing. Yeah, so it's a little bit off. Everything is slightly off kilter, and you can apply that to pretty much every aspect of this game. Everything just is lacking something that makes it a proper flowing playable game in the way that games should flow and play. And yeah, some of that text is interesting. I mean, they actually call one of the actual creatures COVID. So I don't know whether they did this intentionally, but it's a little bit freaking weird to come across that inside of a game when we're all trying to get away from that sort of thing in the real world. Anyhow, so here I am down at an actual campment. Now, in the actual trailer it says that you can weave in amongst the trees, or you can then, bounce over them and stuff. Let's put that to the test, shall we? Let's not enable our scramjets, let's just take on off, and let's just see if we can get ourselves around these trees and skirt around them. But first I've got to bounce over these rocks. Now what I would say is when you're not got your scramjets on, and they're off, like they are right now, it feels like that you're controlling a drunken grasshopper. You're just sort of bouncing about all over the place, little mini boost, and then you get stuck on pretty much everything. Rocks, boulders, everything you're going to get stuck on. This is pretty much for staying still. Although you can slowly meander and move your way through things, it's clumsy, it's haphazard, and it feels like complete shite. It's like being a slug stuck in toffee. That's what it's like, or a snail in tar or something. It's just not progressive, it's not great. I do like the actual world, I like all the mist, I like the actual settings, and when you are slowing down you can really take it in and sort of enjoy some of the scenery. But where the fun is where you speed up and you're bouncing around, you're picking up vapours and you're bouncing from place to place, and you do it in a succession and a sort of combo, and you're hurtling along at breakneck speeds, which is pretty darn freaking sweet. And you've got like these I don't know what the resonances that help you guide you where you need to go, rather than having compass points and map markers and waypoint markers. It's all done through resonance, and I really like that. I really like that sort of thing, that they haven't done what every other game has done in the past, and you've got a mini map with a point and you've got to go there and it puts a yellow dotted line. At least this, it feels like you're doing a sense of discovery and a sense of everything else. That bit's good. And the fact that when you're with a team, they go off and do separate tasks. Also good, fantastic stuff. Where the trailer said it's not about resource gathering, you do have to gather resources. You do have to create repair kits at times to fix your ship. And there you have to find these sort of whelks that are sitting on rocks, be that out at sea or be that inland, and gather up those bits. You need 5 parts to make a singular repair kit. But yeah, a lot of the time it just doesn't feel like you're controlling a ship. So back to controls, because controls are the most important piece really about a game. And this game, sadly, the controls, as you speed up and you go faster and faster, the game automatically zooms out and the camera sort of pans to the right, so you can sort of see where you're going. The thing is, you don't know how far it's zoomed, and a lot of this is about jumping and propelling yourself over objects. Now, as it zooms out, of course, the distance is going to be closer to the object, but you've got no real sense of judgment on where exactly it is. So sometimes you might jump up too early, and you're like, uh-oh, and you have to jump and jump and jump again. And sometimes you smash into trees like this, and then you fall around, and you just look like a fool, and you think, oh, fudging heck, that would have been excellent if I made that. And then you couple that with the fact that all the puzzles that you've got to solve, you solve from inside of your ship. The whole trailer where it says boots down on the ground and walking around, there's hardly any puzzles to solve inside of on the foot mode. There's one bit where you have to get away from a tentacly demony dude, but that's about it. All the puzzles are solved in your ship, and they're done in a very similar fashion. Pick something up, throw it at something else to activate it, and then move on. Or get something to follow you to activate something and then move on. There is, however, one boss fight where you have to take on a giant krakeny creature that arises out of the sea, and you have to do it in sort of succession. But that bit is very much like boss fights of any other game, where there's a pattern, you recognise the pattern, it repeats over and over, and then you kill the boss. So there was quite a fair bit that I didn't like about Jett, but there's quite a lot that I do like about Jett. So I really like the sound score. I like some of the mood setting that they placed into the start and towards the end of the actual playthrough of Jett. I've completed Jett. If you want to see my full playlist, I put a card at the top right hand corner. Please go watch it, because I talk about my feelings as I progressed through that actual whole experience. What I do love is the amount of different biomes that there are. The starting planet you start on is beautiful but dark and drab, and then when you get to the other planet it starts getting a bit brighter, and the sense of biomes and different areas really comes across well. So there's a lot that they did score well on, and the music and the sound effects are really on point, and the artistic look of the game is fantastic. The only trouble is it looks like the gameplay came second place to the looks and art direction. It's like even when you're flying off and you're going fast and stuff and it zooms out, it's so you can see the landscape more so than your actual jet and what you're actually doing gameplay wise. The focus just isn't properly there on the controls and how this game feels to play, but the actual mood and how it makes you feel internally is there. I'm going to score this about a 66 out of 100. It's okay, but it's not brilliant. There we go. Enjoy. Well, thank you very much for watching. If you like what you see, please hit a like and a subscribe, and I'd like to say a massive great big thank you to all of my backers over on Patreon and over on YouTube membership. Thanking you, backers! And if you want to support this channel, just don't skip the adverts. That throws revenue down my avenue. Or yeah, just stay with Captain Steve that little bit longer and hit something on this screen. There's merch here now too.